man's got fire and a wild hot take. Andrew's stats make the whole place shake. Laughing loud when your team goes down. Straub boys run this sports town. Show. Sundays, Mondays, we live for the fight. College game day and Thursday night. Rivals fall and the banter flies. We bleed our teams till the day we die. S-T-R-A-U-E. Two loud mouths and a love for the league. From Cleveland roots to the world we go. This is the Straub Bro Sports Show. Straub Bro Sports Show.
Welcome everybody to another edition of the Straub Bro Sports Show. A day late, but $1 extra. Thanks to me and Lil Bro's miscommunication. But nonetheless, we're here. Big Bro rocking with you as always with Little Bro. Little Bro, how you doing on this Wednesday?
You know, it is a little weird, but we're doing good. Apologies for the mix-up there, everybody, but we're here, we're ready, and listen, I can guarantee Ken is still just as pissed off, and you're going to get just as good entertainment regardless, so don't you worry about that at all.
What I'm going to preference this on the front end is, Mama, if you're watching, I apologize for my language, and if the kids are in front of the television, this might be one of the episodes that you kind of turn the volume down on because I'm pissed off. I have a lot to be pissed off. I got a lot of rightfully issues to be pissed off with, and I'm going to get to every single one of them twice.
And I will go, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we just going to do it off top? We want to just get right to it? Let's just get right to it. Let's talk about these jackasses at the College Football Playoff Committee.
Starting off strong.
Yeah, we are starting off strong. There's your 12 teams, everybody. Indiana, number 1. Ohio State, number 2. We'll get to the reasons why there. Georgia, 3. Texas Tech at 4. Number 5. Thank you, Morgan. I appreciate your love. Number 5, Oregon. Number 6, Ole Miss. Those teams didn't play. Number 7, Texas A&M. They didn't play. Number 8, Oklahoma. They didn't play. Number 9, Alabama. They lost. Number 10, Miami. They didn't play. Number 11, Tulane. Number 12, James Madison. I'm going to
Yay!
We're not going to talk about me first. We're going to talk about the very bottom. Tulane and James Madison get into the college football playoffs. I think that is a travesty that both of these programs are in. I wouldn't have gotten one of their spots, so this is not me hating from this Irish perspective. You got your wish, Drew. James Madison in the field.
1, shout out James Madison. I absolutely love this for him regardless. But 2, and this actually, you might like to hear this. Remember that thing that I was talking about last week that Gruden talked about and that I try to improve upon? Mm-hmm. Because 2 group of 5 teams just got in the college football playoff, those ideas that we talked about are going to be talked about in the committee and throughout the NCAA next year to prevent something like this from happening. Because they did not want something like this. And so while it's fun and it's really, really cool, and that's good for me, this is less likely to happen because of the changes I know they're going to make, and that's going to be good for you.
We'll talk about that in a minute. All right, let's just do it. Miami gets in over Notre Dame. That's the story. It's been the story. It was the story. We'll just get this damn thing out of my way. Here's why I'm pissed off, and here's why the committee is a bunch of frauds. Okay. You didn't have the balls to put Miami above us all year. Then you caved to the media pressure on the last weekend when neither of us played. If Miami was ranked above us on Tuesday, this would be a normal ass show, and I wouldn't have anything to complain about. Because when the resumes were complete, the committee said, you know what? Miami is a more complete team than Notre Dame. Or at the end of the day, we think they're even. We think they're neck and neck. I apologize for the sirens in the background if you can hear them. I'm not on fire, but we're okay.
That's good at least.
You're
shooting flames, but yeah, I think everything's fine.
Maybe that's why. If the committee had ranked us on Tuesday, all I could do was come in here and say, hey, at the end of the day, the resumes were similar. I feel like we're a better team now, but at the end of the day, when it was on the field, we lost to Miami. And there you go. You jackasses flipped us when neither of us played a game and neither of us had anything else to do.
Yeah. No, I think you're exactly right there. Because I guess. Anyways, no, I think you're exactly right. Because there was not a single college football playoff ranking the entire year that had Miami over you. There was not a single one.
Except for the first couple.
I don't know. I think the first college football playoff ranking that came out, you were ahead of them.
Miami was ranked really high after our win. They were.
AP, yes. I'm CFP rankings, I think.
No, they were never ahead of us.
So the garbage reasoning they gave, which was they never actually gave you guys a comparison until the final week, is garbage. Because in my opinion, right, if you believe Miami is better than Notre Dame, and then BYU is better than Miami, because that's how they compared Miami and BYU, and then they compared Notre Dame and something else, then you should have had BYU, Miami, Notre Dame, if that's your true thing. Because it doesn't make sense to not have a team, every team basically be ranked against each other, because that's what rankings are for. If you're saying that a team is 12th, that means you believe that 11 teams are better than them, and you know that for a fact. It doesn't make sense to me. It's a travesty for you, and I'm gonna be honest here. I do believe Miami should be in over you if we're talking just baseline resume. However, because of the head-to-head, that should have been known weeks in advance, because neither of you guys had a win or a loss in weeks that would have put one over the other. And so Miami, in my opinion, should have been over you for weeks if at the end the committee was going to put them over you. And that's the part where I get upset for you about, because it's garbage.
Shout out to my bestie. These are for me, by the way. These are my people coming to support us today.
I have another one to talk about too when you're done with this.
That's fine. We'll get there. So first of all, F you. They deserve to be in over me. I don't want to hear that today. So you're gonna catch that smoke too.
I get it.
So yes. So here we got this out of the way. The fact that you flipped us on Sunday was trash. You should have put them above us. To do that to me means you bowed to media pressure. Now, for the rest of you assholes, all I have heard the entire time, well, you should just be in a conference. Just join a conference. You left Duke and BYU out. Duke won their conference. You left them out. Alabama has negative 28 rushing yards in the SEC championship game, and they don't move down one. BYU basically loses in the same fashion, and they get dumped out when they have a better record than Alabama. You all don't make any sense either. You all just want to talk, and I'm gonna take this personal. Y'all just want to talk shit about my team, and I'm here for it today. Because here's what got proven to me. Joining a conference doesn't matter. Because if you win the conference, you can still be left out like Duke. Just win your conference championship, Notre Dame. Well, Duke did it, and you still left them out over James freaking Madison. Okay, and a Tulane team that played one of the teams in the college football playoffs. They played Ole Miss and got smoked by 5 touchdowns. I have a combined 2 losses by 3 or 4 points. Okay, so screw you on that. Okay, what it comes down to, y'all didn't want us in. You bitched enough to do it. And now on the back end, I'm hearing all of this, oh, Notre Dame deserved to be in. None of you were saying that shit 2 weeks ago. So I don't want to hear it now. I don't want to hear it. You're trying to, oh, no, I don't, no, we're good over here. Here's the next part. I 100% stand with my coach and my senior leadership group who made the decision to not play in a bowl game. ESPN, I'd be damned if you're going to make $1 off of our team after you hyped up the whole entire week of whether or not we should be in. Half of the reason this was a story is because your pundits wouldn't stop talking about it and made it a story. So you manufactured your own drama. You're not going to put us in some bullshit bowl game and then hype the entire bowl game around. How's Notre Dame going to respond? How's Notre Dame going to respond? You damn right I'm on fire right now. You're not doing that. And here's the thing for all of you idiots, and I shouted out, I tried to get the dude, I added the guy from Barstool on multiple posts because he tried to say that we're punks and we ran away. F you too, bro. Okay? F you too. I'm here for everybody. It wasn't Marcus Freeman who made that decision. Marcus Freeman talked to his players and he talked to his senior leadership group who said, we're not playing in these bowl games without Jeremiah Love and without Jadarian Price. We're not playing without those guys. And those guys weren't going to play in this bowl game, and some of the other seniors weren't either. And that leadership group went back to coach and said, Coach, we ain't doing this. So I don't care whatever. You took your ball and went home. Yeah, we did. Because because here's the problem. You want to leave us out and use our ball to play. No, we're taking our ball and we're going home. You don't want to play with us? That's cool. We're going to go play at home. Go ahead. Stay here because I got more.
No, well, great.
Bowl game decision.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say the bowl game. Any team at any point, I'm more than okay with doing that because one, it's for the players most of all, right? It's so the players, either young guys can get experience, or so the older guys have one last college game before they graduate. That's what these bowl games that aren't the CFP are for. It's a well-known thing that outside or post BCS era, that is what it is, especially with the transfer portal, especially with all NIL stuff. That is how this works. And so regardless if you are just missing or you are the last team to qualify for a bowl, if your players don't want to do it and there's not enough players, I don't have mine because you're saving your body, you're saving your health, and you're getting an early shot into the offseason to help rebuild your team. So I don't mind that whatsoever.
Last point on that.
All I would say is I assume there was, and I assume this was a whole thing. I hope it was a collective decision by the entire students and not just like the senior leadership. Because if a lot of freshmen wanted to play, that's another thing. Because that's more experience and getting these guys used to game speed.
Sit your ass down and wait till next year, kid. The senior leadership staff talked with the players too. So the players, the leadership group talked to the locker room talked to Marcus.
I mean in general, not just your scenario.
The other thing is my seniors or whoever is draft eligible, Jeremiah Love's draft status is solidified. Okay?
Yeah.
His dad has dropped rumors he may forego and come back, or he may not forego and he may come back.
That'd be dumb. I love you. That man is a top 10 pick right now.
Yep, but a pissed off one who probably makes more money in NIL than he will as a first round draft pick.
I guess. I'm just saying that fat contract you're getting is, whatever, regardless.
So that's that. Secondly, I want to give a shout out to my athletic director, Pete Bevqua. I think that's how you say his last name. Who went on a score? Who pulled a Ken? He went on every radio. He went on every big platform. He was on Dan Patrick. He was on Sports Center or wherever. He was on McAfee. Love him. Shout out to him. Because my last FU is to the ACC. We are in partnership with the ACC. All of our sports, minus football being the independent, are all ACC based. Our soccer, our hockey, our basketball, softball, base, everything is ACC based. And you jackasses went out of your way to try to overstep us. Do you know what was showed on the ACC network all weekend during all of the championship games? The replay of Miami versus Notre Dame. Do you think that's a fucking coincidence? No, it's not. You went out of your way, and that's fine. You wanted to big up one of your own. We're still technically one of your own. We have basically left the ACC, and we are exploring options elsewhere to take our sports and go somewhere else. Because if you don't want us, and you're not going to support us, then we don't want to be there. Because during the COVID season, we joined your garbage ass conference so you can have enough teams to play. Okay, so we've been there for you. And we schedule ACC teams. We have a heavy ACC dominant schedule. We've had home and homes with Clemson multiple years. We're doing it now with Miami. We've done this. Okay? We are taking our ball and going home. Now, what's up, Six? Appreciate you, big dog. It's my guy. I told you, my people checking in with us today.
Let's not put the profile picture.
My bad. I didn't see that.
may get that striked on that one.
My bad. That's okay. We're exploring. Now we've talked to the Big Ten, and here's the funny part. The Big Ten said, hey, you got to bring football. And here's the thing. Do you know why you got to bring football? Because Notre Dame football is a brand in itself, baby. So if you want us, you're going to want the football because
they don't want the other sports.
And listen, you want our women's basketball and you want our hockey.
You want our hockey, yeah.
You want our women's basketball team. You want our football. Oh, and for the rest of you, if your school could be independent, they would be. Okay, that's why Michigan is exploring the option. Some of the other bigger SEC teams because being independent is where it's at when you can run your own. Okay, yo, if your school could be where mine was, that they would choose it in a heartbeat. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna explore some other conferences because we're done with the ACC. Now, after the Big Ten has said that, we're gonna talk to the Big 12. We're even gonna talk to the Mountain West. Here you go. You want us in a conference? Boom. We're going to win the Mountain West every year, and you're going to have to put us in. Okay? Now, on top of all of that, the kicker. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you, boy. I appreciate you, my guy. We should have made it in. Next year, the clause goes into effect that if Notre Dame is ranked anywhere above 13th, 12th, we get in automatically. That was and this is where
but I also think you can't go both ways on this at this point. Then you know what I mean.
But here's the thing that's funny to me. Nobody join a conference, Notre Dame. We don't have to. You write rules in for us to allow us to get in. Why? Because whether or not you like us or not, we're the biggest brand in college football. Whether or not you like it or not, I don't care. That's why so many of you hate it so much. So yes, next year we get in no matter what. It may not matter if we join a conference, but I don't know. I don't know what else I got to say. That probably should be it.
Okay. Now that we're at minute 20, I get to talk about the other thing about the college football playoff that I wanted to talk about. Here, and you mentioned it. Alabama not dropping a single spot after getting blown out by Georgia is garbage. Yep. I truly hope you get ranked 13th because you're acting like some pompous dude right now. But No. The fact that Alabama got absolutely dog walked, pun intended, by Georgia and did not drop a spot is awful. And they talked about it. And I would say the people Reese Davis and all of them talking about it were very candid about some of these rankings. Obviously, the Notre Dame and Miami one expressed my consent, basically, where they do believe Miami was the team that should be in, but it was unfair to Notre Dame to rank them ahead and then get jumped. We're not going to get back into that because I don't want you to go on for 20 more minutes. The other thing they mentioned is you are basically telling us that championship games do not only matter in certain instances when it comes to this, because if they treated the SEC championship the same way as the Big Ten championship, Ohio State wouldn't have gone down one. Ohio State wouldn't have dropped. It would have still been one, and Indiana at two. And so, and that was a closer game than this one was. And so, if we're talking about Alabama in this current thing, in the scenario, right? I understand you don't want to punish them for being in a championship game. I get that, but that has to go across the board. That means that Ohio State's the Big Ten championship doesn't matter. That means that BYU should still be in because then the Big 12 championship doesn't matter. This is you know what I mean? This is what we're talking about here, is that you can't cherry pick what matters and what doesn't. You have to be. And I understand there's extenuating circumstances. This wasn't one of them. This is an Alabama team that's been up and down all year. They've had the worst loss out of teams in the conference championship with Florida State. And then you prove you are by far the worst team in your conference championship, and you don't drop anything. You don't drop a single spot. And so, in my opinion, this is also another reason why the way we pick teams for the CFP has to change. Because you either have to say that all conference championships don't matter, or all of them do matter. You can't go, well, it depends because the ranking and the strength of schedule and their opponent. No, you have to have strict outlines on conference championships now, because you are doing things like this and you're not being fair across the board. And so I would not be surprised if the ACC or the Big 12 next year, obviously they don't have that much sway, but start putting heavy pressure on outlining conference championships, because you have a team like with BYU, whose only losses have been to Texas Tech, the number 4 team in the nation. And they are outside a Miami team that did not make their conference championship and has 2 worse losses. And I know Notre Dame has a gripe with that too. But if we're saying that before that BYU had a better resume than Miami, and the only thing that happened afterwards, they lost a championship game to the team they already lost to, how are you saying Miami is better than them? And so all I'm saying is there needs to be consistency, and you're not going to get consistency when you have a conference disparity with the Big Ten, the SEC, and the ACC, and the Big 12. You're not going to get that across the board unless you set strict guidelines on what is and is not going to happen during conference championship week.
First things first, my ears just popped from work, so I apologize that I was screaming during the first half of this. This is, man, you can take my gripes out of this, or you can say that this is part of it. I don't care. This has been, hands down, the most inconsistent committee that we have ever had. Okay? They have been inconsistent as hell. The final rankings, I mean, are the penultimate, because just look at it. There was zero consistency. Ohio State loses, drops. BYU loses, drops. Alabama loses. Oh, no, we can't keep out precious Alabama. We have to keep them in the field. Oh, everybody's yelling at us, and they're going to be mad at us because we left out Miami. Let's flip them, even though neither of these teams played, and over the last 4 days, neither of these teams have done anything different. This committee has been inconsistent as hell. I want every one of them gone, and I want them replaced, because if you cannot go in, the reason I like the first couple committees is because they didn't give a shit. This is what we feel. We're going to go into it. We're going to leave Florida State out because that's what we're going to do, and y'all going to deal with it. This committee has flip-flopped all over the place and then come in, and all of his answers absolutely sucked. Okay?
They make no sense.
They've made no sense. When Reese asked him on Tuesday, hey, are the teams that aren't playing, are they done moving? Oh, well, we'll re-rank all the teams again. What? Okay. I don't want to turn this back to me bitching about Notre Dame. But I can be added right in there. Why did you not drop Ohio, or why did you not drop Alabama? What is the difference between what BYU did and what Alabama did? I understand Alabama's got some good wins. Cool. You got some terrible losses too. What did Notre Dame do to all of a sudden not be better than Miami from Tuesday to Sunday? None of these questions make any sense. All right. Let's talk about the games. The ones that actually were played.
I'm going to make a real quick thing here.
Yeah.
Conference championship games only matter when considering head-to-head. Sure, then BYU should be in over Miami because then BYU is ranked ahead of Miami. That's the consistency we're talking about. BYU should be in over Miami because when they talked about it, they said BYU is better than Miami. And if conference games don't matter unless it's head-to-head, those teams didn't play, BYU is better than Miami in that case. That's the problem here.
And everyone should have dropped. Alabama should have dropped to 10. Period. End of story. Everyone should have dropped one. You left Alabama in because you didn't want to put them against us, because then you would have put us in too, and that would have defeated the purpose of what they were trying to do, which was piss me off. Not just piss me off, but placate who they wanted to placate.
Yes. All right.
Let's get to the games. Let's start at the top. We called it. I called it. Indiana 13-10 over Ohio State, although I called Indiana for a blowout. Indiana, I will say this, or I will give Ohio State this credit. Ohio State proved, or the one thing that we now know about Ohio State is this. No matter what, that defense is going to show up. Can the offense show up? Indiana's defense played the game of their life.
Yeah.
They struggled on offense. So did Ohio State. Both of these defenses, we have not been complimentary to Indiana's defense. It's been all about their offense. I mean, they've been hanging 50 on everybody. That Indiana defense figured out that Ohio State offense. However, though, I mean, we have to talk about it. If Ohio State's bum-ass kicker, instead of trying to warm up during the game from the sideline, basically, and kick the goalpost, would have taken a couple more down the middle from 26 yards out, that's a 13-13 ball game, and we don't know what happens.
So, one, that is an actual drill to increase accuracy, is you kick, you aim for the goalpost to get pinpoint precision to make sure you're hitting down the middle. That's actually what you're supposed to like. It's to improve hitting the ball down the middle and making sure you're not like fading or pulling one way or the other. But regardless, that's just a kicker that is. The issue is, and Ohio State's kickers have had these problems for years now. I can remember the Georgia game where they ran him onto the field to kick a last-second field goal, and he absolutely just tanked it left. And then the Michigan game as well last year. And so the issue with the kicking is 99% of this kicker's career is I'm going in, kicking extra points, or I'm kicking a field goal up 17. There's no real pressure on this kid. And so when the pressure time comes, it gets in their head. They don't know how to just calm it down, remember their basics and remember their fundamentals, and they start hooking stuff because they try to make sure they punt it through and they pull it exactly like the kid did. And so, but I regardless, I want to say this was a game that Indiana came in, and I'm completely missing the head coach for Indiana's name. currently right now.
That's my guy.
Yes, he showed that he is able to take a team to the highest moment that the school's ever been in and not let it impact the way they play and even honestly make them play better. And that is a true sign of a great coach because you have coaches like a Lane Kiffin, like a Brian Kelly, that for most games can coach really, really well because they can get the talent, they have a decent scheme, and they can get a lot out of players. But great coaches know how to manage players' emotions and manage the way that they enter a game in the biggest moments. And that's exactly what they did. You said it. Indiana's defense played the game of their life. And listen, I know we're pumping up their defense. It's not an amazing, it's a good defense. It's not an amazing defense, but they played exactly how you needed them to play. And that's because the coach didn't let it get the moment too big, but allowed them to stay motivated and hungry enough as ever for this game. And that's I want to give props to him because that was an amazing performance against a team that was throwing everything at you. Ohio State was running trick plays at the end of the game to try to get stuff going, and they couldn't get it. So that's what I'm saying.
Let's run through some comments real quick. I agree with this. It's missed opportunities. Indiana executed. There are no excuses there. Same here.
Mm-hmm.
An interesting one here.
Yeah.
Because, it does show,
These are never in close games.
Well, no. But my criticalness of, when I'm critical of Ryan Day, it's been in these close games. Because I don't know. It's also part of your job to make sure that kicker's ready, man.
No, absolutely.
Absolutely. And look, I told you, we get all the love today. This is my life.
I know I'm your fave. Don't worry about it.
Okay, absolutely not. And yeah, he did. He over both kicks he over rotated on. He did, but man, do your job. You got one job, kid.
No, absolutely.
And that's it. The rest of the college football playoff should be scared as hell now. Because now Ohio State's got that loss. Ohio State had that punch in the gut. Can they figure it out? The only thing, though, is
they didn't take Indiana lightly.
No.
That's the thing.
We have to start giving credit to the guy who is leading the Heisman Trophy, okay, and is leading the number one team in the country. Fernando Mendoza, Kurt Sidnetti, these boys are good. And now it's the Big Ten championship game. I don't want to say I don't put stock into it, but now we're here at the playoffs.
No, I agree.
This is a different ball game now. However,
there's a formula now.
Yes.
You stop Ohio State's run, and you force. We talked about it during the Michigan game, and it's not like they went away from the run. Ryan Day stuck with the run, and they tried to do. You stop this Ohio State run. Julian Sain is not ready yet to throw the ball 30, 40 times a game and make big plays on third and long. They're gonna struggle. And obviously, the other team's offense is going to struggle, but can you do enough to take Ohio State off their game, get a little bit of a lead, and just hope, like this one, Ohio State doesn't – I'm saying it wasn't terrible, but Ohio State's run game is the focal point of this offense, and it opens up the passing game. You stuff the offense or stuff the run game, and you make Shane throw – 8, 10, 12 yards down the field, that's where it gets tough for them.
And let's get a little bit nerdy. It isn't just making him throw the football, because what happens is that Ohio State running game is great. When it gets to third down, I have to think that they may run the ball. Now I've got to step out of that box a little bit, and I got to open up some space. And you don't want that wide receiver core in space. But when you can tighten up at the defensive line, not have to blitz, and then you can tightly cover those wide receivers, that's when an 18-year-old can struggle in a game. And what I don't like, and Ohio State fans, this is not today is not the day, okay? Because I love and respect your I don't love your team, but I respect your team. But today's not the day. This is what we've been talking about with him. Nobody's saying he's bad. Nobody's saying you still can't win the college football playoffs. But the fact, this is where he's still a kid. Anybody, not anybody, but almost any top quarterback out of any team in the top 25 could throw to that wide receiver core when they're wide open. Can you make the throws when they're not? And he has struggled a little bit with that. That's fine. He's 18 years old. Next year, he won't struggle. The year after that, he'll be throwing to them when they're all covered, and it won't matter. The kid's going to progress, but right now, that is the key. Can you get – and here's the thing upcoming in this playoffs. You got some good defenses in this playoffs, okay?
Very good defenses.
I don't remember 100% what
Oklahoma,
okay.
A&M,
so the thing that
Georgia.
Right, and the thing for Ohio State, now if Texas A&M beats Miami, you're good. Because you're going to go into a shootout with Texas A&M, and your defense is going to outperform Texas A&M. However, and just to show you that I'm not I can be objective. All that Homer stuff was at the beginning of the show. We moved on. That Miami defense, we've upped a lot this year because it's physical and it gets in your face. And the thing about that Miami defense, I saw it up close and personal, and I watched it all year. They don't have to blitz to put pressure on you, and they don't have to blitz to stop the run. And if you can do that against Ohio State, the youth, as we talked about, the youth showed missing on the easy throws and forcing. He's a young kid. He's susceptible to that. All these young kids are. There is the formula there. I don't know how many they should get past the first route if it's Texas A&M. But then after that, some of these SEC defenses, no. Hell, even Texas Tech's got a good defense. So
great turnover defense.
Absolutely.
No, I agree. And obviously, like I said, we'll see what goes on there. But again, shout out to did you purposely put the Miami Hurricanes in all lowercase? I hate you.
Yes, I did.
Of course you did. But shout out to Indiana.
I absolutely did. And I didn't even highlight their thing. I don't care. Oh no, I did. Okay. Yeah, I don't care. All lowercase. You did nothing to deserve it. Georgia, 28-7 over Alabama in the SEC championship game. That 28-7 is a deceptive score. It could have been 45-7. They absolutely dominated Alabama. As I mentioned, negative 28 rushing yards. That's what Alabama had in the SEC championship game. Go the hell away. This Georgia team, man, this Georgia team has really, really responded from that loss against Alabama. And while we've been sleeping on them because they're not the dominant Georgia that has just blown everyone out of the water, they're starting to come along. And one of the big things that we've talked about, man, it's why I wanted to be in so bad. Good coaches down the stretch in the college football playoffs are going to win you game. Marcus Freeman won us himself a couple games during that playoff run with some of his, with going for it on fourth downs, with, the fake punt. So a good coach can win you some games down the stretch here, even more than your quarterback. And Kirby Smart is not a guy I want to have to game plan against, especially when his team is hot.
No, yeah, I think honestly, this was probably the most complete team in the college football playoff in the sense of, while teams may be better in some aspects than Georgia, I don't think I can think of a team that is that little of weaknesses in terms of the blocking is great, the rushing game is great, the passing game, while not great, is solid. The defense, the rush defense is great. The pass defense is great. The special team is great. That's the thing, is like, yes, Ohio State may have a better defense, but they're susceptible when you stop the run against them. Georgia can beat you if you stop the run against them.
I agree.
Indiana, sometimes the defense lacks. Georgia's defense isn't lacking. That's a complete team.
I agree. Texas Tech, the Big 12 championship game, 34-7 winners over BYU. We'll set BYU aside. We've kind of done all of that for BYU and Notre Dame and everybody else. If Texas Tech did not play in the Big 12, we would be so high on this team as media, as fans, as everything. But because they play in the Big 12, there is an assumption that this team is soft, that this team didn't have a hard road to get here, and that they're going to be exposed in the playoffs. This Texas Tech team, and let me remind you, with not the starting quarterback who started the year, is one of, like Georgia, the most complete teams in the country.
No, you're absolutely right. And so the biggest thing is this Texas Tech team last year, right? They had the electric offense, but the defense was bad. And it was like bad, not Big 12 championship material. This defense is absolutely suffocating, and they may give up points. They're going to give up probably more points per game than a Georgia or Ohio State and stuff like. But they're gonna cause some turnovers. I want to say, are fourth in all of college football in turnovers. And so when you talk about this Texas Tech team, and if you talk about the Big 12 championship game, BYU was in this game for a majority of the game. And it was like when they played last time, but Texas Tech forced back-to-back turnovers and scored on both of them. And that's where this Texas Tech team is dangerous, is they're gonna allow you to get some yards, they're gonna keep it close, but they're not gonna give anything easy to you. They're gonna be on you all game, and they're gonna force you to make mistakes, and they're gonna jump routes, and they're gonna come with weird blitz schemes. This Texas Tech team, it should not be taken lightly in any regard, because they can get it done in any way that you need them to do to get wins. And that Arizona State loss was a trip up, but that Arizona State team is up and down all year. Every other game outside of that has not been close.
And I'm sorry, other than Indiana, every one of these teams has tripped up. Every one of these teams has a loss on the resume, other than Indiana, who doesn't, and Ohio State, who's only lost to Indiana. I'll separate those two. Other than that, everybody else has got a loss where we go, Georgia didn't look good against Alabama. Ole Miss didn't look good in their loss. Texas A&M looked horrible against Texas. Oklahoma looked horrible in their two losses, one of which was to Texas. Alabama's looked bad 3 different times. Miami's lost to SMU and somebody else. Alabama lost to Florida freaking State. Like, all of these teams have games where they've tripped up. Arizona State's a respectable loss. So no, I agree. And you know what, this Texas A&M defense somewhat reminds me of Notre Dame's defense 2 years ago and a little bit of last year's defense. They may give up some points, but they are going to pressure you, and eventually you're going to make a mistake, and they're going to capitalize on that turnover. And they got some ball hawks on that defense that don't drop picks and make good returns on the picks too. That's a big thing. They don't just get interceptions or fumbles. They turn that and they flip the field on you quickly with an offense that is good. So I like this Texas Tech team a lot. So we'll see how they.
I'm glad, because I've been high on them. I think I chose them to win the Big 12 because of how just complete this team is.
Now, every other team from 8 to 10, we are going to talk about when we actually start to preview these games next week. They didn't play. Some of them moved. Some of them didn't. I mean, just all of those lines right in the middle from 3 to 9 just bother me, because when you see everything else that happens.
5 to 8. 5 to 8 bothers the crap out of me.
Yeah. But we will talk about those teams. Let's get down to the bottom. We didn't talk about it a lot, but a team that you could argue got hosed in terms of winning their conference championship. But Virginia loses to Duke 27-20 in overtime. Drew, we talked about it. This Duke team, regardless, I got you. They have 5 losses. Some of them not great. But Duke has showed up plenty of times this year against good quality programs, and they've come out on top. Virginia had everything in front of them that was there for the taking. Win and you're in, and they blew it.
You're right. I think this is just a mark on what we've talked about all year. The ACC not truly living up to expectations. Your top teams, your normal top teams had down years, and your new top teams didn't know how to take advantage of a good situation. I think nothing could be nothing could be more damning of evidence as this championship game where Virginia somehow stumbled to an ACC championship after some bad losses and lost to a Duke team while was punchy, should be nowhere close to an ACC championship game this year, much less winning the thing. Also, by the way, I checked it. Last time they won, 1989, head coach Steve Spurrier.
Let's
Just
go.
wanted to throw a little nugget out there. But in terms of Duke getting in, I'm sorry. The way the rant you went on about Notre Dame not making it would have been the rant I went on about if James Madison did not get in and Duke got in, because you're telling me a 5-loss Duke team gets in over a 12-1 James Madison team because of maybe strength of schedule, but I think strength of record, James Madison beats Duke.
Yeah, but James Madison also, I don't
One loss to Louisville, and won their conference championship.
And who have they beaten? Charlotte?
Washington State. They played what was in front of them, and that is what matters.
It was good enough for Miami.
Duke did not beat what was in front of them. So
I understand. A disappointing one for me because I was really pulling for the other side. Tulane, 34-21 over North Texas. Honestly, it was a late rally by North Texas because other than that, Tulane was in control of this game.
Yeah, and this was a theme that I think, honestly, I will say, I will remember that I did technically pick Ohio State to win in a close one. However, I think every other conference championship game I called, and I think this one was the one I was most proud of, because the theme here, and especially conference championship games for the most part, was if you were there before and the other team wasn't, you were winning that game. And this one, and then the Boise State one also rang true for me as well, where Tulane the moment was not too big for them. They knew the moment wasn't too big for them because they were there before. The other team let the moment get too big for them. They got too hyped. And you see what happens here, where North Texas, while usually pretty good offensively, had a down kind of 2 to 3 quarters. But that defense we know was suspect, and Tulane took full advantage of that.
I agree. Daniel, Cuyahoga Falls Rapids, whoever, you're going to have to rewind this one because you're going to want to go back because it was spicy for a good 25 minutes.
You missed the best parts.
I mean, looking forward, my problem with this Tulane team is they've played one team in the top 25. It was Ole Miss, and they got absolutely smoked. And that's who they're going to play again. Now, I understand it's the playoffs. Things are different when you rematch another team. But what I know
is their head coach.
Ole Miss did lose their head coach. However, Lane Kiffin is allowing 3 assistants to travel back to coach for this playoff game. So some familiarity for them. Well, here's the thing, though. You may not have the guy at the top. You may not have the guy at the top, but if you got all the coordinators who can run all the same plays, I believe this Ole Miss team is probably still going to win by 3 touchdowns at least against Tulane. So congratulations. Cool, you get a spot. Cool, you get some revenue. You're going to get absolutely thumped. And then we head on down. James Madison, 31-14 over Powerhouse Troy to win their conference championship. Congratulations, James Madison. Your prize is a date with Oregon in Eugene, in which Oregon's probably going to hang 64 on you.
Hey, Oregon almost lost to Boise State last year, and they made the tournament. So anything can happen in the playoff. And honestly, I like Tulane in terms of a team better than James Madison. I think they're more complete. But I like James Madison's ability to just come at you in different ways. And so I think they're going to cause some trouble for Oregon, and we'll obviously talk about it. Do I think they're going to win? Probably not. But I think this one's going to be kind of a game where you look up and you go, Oregon's only up by 7 and we're in the 3rd. What the fuck's going on? Just because I think James Madison just messes with you in different ways that I think that's why Louisville didn't thump them as bad.
All my fired up and cussing got you cussing.
Okay, 1 to like 30. So I think we're good.
You know what would happen to both of these teams? Jeremiah Love and Janarian Price would run for 150 apiece on both of them, and we'd win by 2
Oh well, I guess we can't see that happening. So
shut up.
Yeah.
All right. You have stuff, right? You've got more to get to. We're gonna take a break so I can breathe for a second. And just I don't know. I'm a salty little bitch today, and it's called coming out. So we're gonna take a break. We'll be right back. When we come back, we're gonna get to Drew's quarterback awards. I'm excited about this. This is gonna be fun.
Oh yeah.
So let's leave all of this in the past and let's come back and have some fun.
Ken Straub here for Schmoopy Sweets and Treats, the official bakery of the Straub Bros Sports Show. And I'm also here with
Tella.
and
Landon Straub.
And boys, do we have a lot to tell everyone about today. Schmoopy's is your go-to for all your bakery needs, gluten and dairy-free options for muffins, cheesecakes, rolls, breads, cupcakes, cake pops, pies, cakes, you name it, it's there. And boys, what do we think?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Me too, boys. So, if you need anything, especially in this fall time, make sure you get in your orders for pies and pumpkin rolls and cinnamon rolls. Place your order now at
Smoopy's. Sweets and treats.
All right, we're back here on the Straub Bros Sports Show after airing the best commercial on all of podcasts. And say goodbye to that commercial. I'm going to be updating with the holiday menu, which I should have already updated. I'm so sorry, Paula. But we will be updating with the holiday menu. I know. Listen, Paula been busy. If you follow us on Facebook, I've been sharing her sewing business as well. Make sure you get in because I literally cannot advertise the stuff on the show because by the time she posts the stuff, it's already being sold, and I'm not even trying to be cocky for her. It's the absolute truth. So I can't even share the stuff on the show. All I'm gonna tell you is get your butt there and get in there. Now, Drew, we've had a long season. All season, you have highlighted the best quarterbacks every week. You have gone with some of our big dogs and the Arch Mannings and the Mendozas and the CJ Carrs, and you've dipped in to the real depths of college football with quarterbacks from North Texas, from Kennesaw State, all over the place. But now it's time to crown them. So it's time for Drew's Quarterback Watch Season-Ending Awards, a.k.a. the Gunslinger Award.
Thank you for that amazing intro, by the way. First, we are going to give a shout out to some conference championship quarterbacks really quickly. Drew Messamaker of North Texas, 289 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. Amari Odom, like you said, the quarterback from Kennesaw State, 246 yards and a touchdown. Listen, his Anthony Colandria from UNLV, 225 passing yards and a touchdown. And then Bear Morton from Texas Tech, 215 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Shout out to those guys getting it done in the championship.
Before you switch over, shout out to Kennesaw State, a team that went 2-10 last year, to come back around and win a conference championship this year. That's a testament to what they're building there, and I'm happy for this program. I rooted for them last year, lost money on them last year. I stayed away from them this year, but I'm glad they had a great season. And although it's local, Paula does ship, so you can get some cookies shipped all the way out to New Jersey. Okay, that's my girl down there. Okay, now, and also shout out to UNLV for winning the Mountain West as well. Hey, I know.
All right, we're gonna get to some awards. First, most mentions, we're shouting them out. Micah Alejado from Hawaii was mentioned 4 times, along with Sawyer Robertson from Baylor and Diego Pavia from Vanderbilt. Quick little note here: none of those quarterbacks made the finalists of the Gunslinger Award. So, they had not even top 5.
Who?
I will say Pavia barely missed. Javier was 6 out of 5. And then a bunch of guys who were there for 3 times. Wanted to shout those guys out because, listen, we talked about them enough. They weren't on. Most of those guys aren't on any other awards today, and so I wanted to shout them out because they deserve it, considering they were on the show so much. Now, this one, and I'm going to need the comments help from this as well as my brother, is a voted on award, and we're going to vote on it right now. And Ken, that is the Best Names Award. Now, Ken, you don't understand how hard this was for me. I honestly believe I got rid of 15 other names I could put on here, but I think I've picked out the top 7 best. I'm gonna say them because I think we need to hear them before we vote. First, Rocco Becht out of Iowa State. I think the first name alone gets him in here.
Love me a Rocco. Shout out to Rocco.
Trinidad Chambliss from Ole Miss. Amazing, just combination of names there. This may be a common name in another country, but here, not much. Athan Kaliakmanis from Rutgers. Amazing name there. Cutter Boley from Kentucky. I think someone with a first name of Cutter, I think. And Boley just matches so well. Love it there. I think the obvious front runner, unless an upset happens, J.C. French the 4th from Georgia Southern. Carlos Del Rio Wilson from Marshall. And, of course, Goose Crowder from Troy. Ken, we'll obviously see if any of the comments want to put their vote on this. But what is your best name of the 2025 college football season?
So I'm gonna pull an audible on you. We're not gonna decide this today. We're gonna vote some in the comments, and I'm gonna put in my vote. Then we're gonna put this out on social media, and then we're gonna bring the votes in for Thursday's show. Okay, you like that idea?
I'll allow it.
Okay, we'll put that Rapids boost behind us, and we'll get that out there. So first of all, my man Athan, how do you pronounce that? Pronounce that last name for me?
Kaliakmanis.
Okay. Also known as the Greek rifle.
Yes.
Okay.
But we're not going nicknames here.
Like that alone might get the Greek in me is not like that's very hard to turn down. Okay. My mother, shout out to my mother's maiden name, Zagrafis. Okay. We some Greeks up in here. Okay. We Italian, but we some Greeks too. Okay. So it's very hard for me to not just automatically pick the Greek rifle. Okay. I understand. However, like, dude, Goose is that's hot. That's fire. Okay. I'm going to eliminate some. Rocco, you my guy. Sorry, I got to take you out. J.C. French, sorry.
I may keep J.C. French the 4th in myself.
That's fine. Carlos Del Rio Wilson, Alberto Del Rio. No, I can't rock with. Sorry, I know too many Del Rios. For me, I mean, the top 3 or 4. It's Trinidad, Athan, and it's Cutter, and it's Goose. I'm going to take...
Real quick. King Large, 1 is a lineman, but 2, these are just the names of the quarterbacks we highlighted on the show.
6 has got to vote in for Rocco.
So he's got to stay. He's got to stay.
He does got to stay. This is my own I'm narrowing it down for myself. Trinidad is great. Like and there's no way whenever you do that, I don't just yell James after because I'm, listen, it isn't just me and Scott Van Pelt and Jay Billis, who are some white boys that love some rap music. I don't know. I'm gonna hold off. I like Goose a lot. The Greek rifle is amazing. I'm gonna take my Greek rifle out, so that gives me Trinidad, Cutter, and Goose. Between those 3, I'll make my pick on social media.
Okay, I got 3 too. I think I got JC, I got Goose, and Del Rio Wilson is just an amazing full name. Like I gotta go full name. It's not just the one; it's everything together.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I love it. This is amazing. All right, so we'll clip this. We're gonna put this out on social media. Vote in the comments. Vote everywhere, and we'll take it in, and we will then decide who has the best name out of Drew's quarterback watch.
Yes. However, the one that has already been decided because it's my award and the most anticipated award, the Gunslinger Award. And Ken, here are your finalists. Number 1, Drew Mestamaker out of North Texas. He is first in passing yards and average yard per pass. He's also top 3 in touchdowns and quarterback rating.
True.
Second, Fernando Mendoza. He is first in touchdowns and second in average yards per pass and quarterback rating. An amazing season for him. Third, Julian Sayin, first in completion percentage, quarterback rating, and also top 3 in touchdowns. My personal favorite, but I'm going to be unbiased here, Joe Fagnano out of UConn, first in least interceptions and touchdown to interception ratio. And finally, Darian Mensah out of Duke, who does not have a top rating. He's not number 1 in anything, but he is top 5 in completions, in average yards per pass. In yards, in touchdowns, and in touchdown to interception ratio. So all of these guys have something to back them up. And Ken, obviously, you know me. I am 75% analytical with 25% of a true football eye test to it. And so the issue is the 75% for this one man was so overwhelming. The 25% didn't matter at all. And so without further ado, your Gunslinger Award winner for the 2025 college football season is Julian Sayin. And the stats speak for itself, Ken. I wanted it so bad to be Joe Fagnano, but if we look at this, he is first in completion percentage, first in quarterback rating, second in touchdowns, top 10 in completions, and top 15 in passing yards and touchdowns to interception ratio. Ken, the only thing that he was outside the top 15 on was interceptions. He wasn't even that far down. I know we've talked about him being a product of the team, but the stats don't lie. I looked at this about 4 or 5 different ways, and he led every single time. If we break it down and we go by, out of those 7 to 8 ratings or stats, what he averaged was in the top 10 of each category. The only other person to do that was Joe Fagnano, and that's why he is second, but he was still just barely missing. Julian Sayin had an incredible year. Joe Fagnano, a very, very close second, by the way. This wasn't a blowout. This was a very close second for Joe Fagnano. A little bit below Drew Mestamaker from North Texas for third. He takes the bronze. Darian Mensah and Fernando Mendoza, pretty close at 4 and 5. Like I said, just outside in 6th is Diego Pavia. And just for you and I, Ken, CJ Carr finished 15th on this list, and Brendan Sorsby finished 22nd on this list. And so just wanted to give that to you. But congratulations to Julian Sayin. Ken, I know you aren't going to be happy, but
I don't know if I'm more pissed off at the College Football Playoff Committee or your stupid-ass spreadsheet.
I told you. If this was close enough to pick between Joe Fagnano and Julian Sayin, you know I would have picked Joe Fagnano just because I was so impressed with him this year. But Julian Sayin, especially in certain games, looked absolutely phenomenal. And throughout this, while I was critical with him early in the season, especially that Texas game, the more the season went on, the more and more I became impressed with him. And the more and more he came on the quarterback watch list, and I had to do it.
That's how I feel about you right now. That's all right. My Irish left out of the playoffs. My favorite Italian quarterback left off of the Gunslinger Award. It's just been a day for me. It's all right.
There was no way that
for the record, of course we love a good Greek though. We didn't drop. That's just my personal rankings, but everybody can vote on all of those names. Yeah. All right. As if my misery could not. Ooh, I almost cussed again. As if my misery could not continue. Let's talk some NFL.
Woo! I mean, yeah, I'll go real quick. Thursday night, Detroit 44-30 over the Cowboys. Ken, you talked about it actually last week. That the beginning of the season was your offense just not being able to keep up with how bad your defense was. You looked good in past couple weeks, but it looked like this was what it looked like in the first couple weeks, and that's kind of how that game went.
You scored 30 points in an NFL game. You should be within 3.
Yeah,
you should be within 3 to 7 points. So I don't know. This defense, this defense took a huge step back. This defense had progressed since the trades. This defense had started to look like a respectable defense. That was absolute dog shit that I watched.
Yeah, no, it wasn't great. We will tomorrow. We will talk about your updated chances. I'll save you the drubbing for tomorrow. But yeah, odds not looking great. Just gonna say that. Moving on to another awful franchise. Well, actually, 2 awful franchises. The Titans beat the Browns 31-29. Ken, I know what questions you're gonna ask, and I'm already ready to answer them. Here's my thoughts. Here's my thoughts. Here's my quick thoughts. One, obviously, with the news that Shedeur is starting the rest of the season, and also because you know me, I've already started looking at draft ideas and all that stuff like that. The question obviously becomes: is Shedeur Sanders impressive enough to not draft a quarterback so early? And my answer is he has impressed me tenfold more than Dylan Gabriel in a quarter or a half or whatever it was of the time. If he can limit the turnovers the rest of the year and the stupid throws, I will be 100% on board with not drafting a quarterback. Right now, I'm about 65 to 70% on board with keeping him and not drafting a quarterback, because I think that the potential is glaringly obvious and he's improving game to game. And listen, I know it's Tennessee, but that's a good Tennessee defense that made it very hard for him in certain times. However, you can tell he's learning. You can tell he's getting more comfortable in the pocket. His decision-making, while on still a player or two, is still kind of head-scratching. It's better than what it was before. I like the kid. I want him to succeed. I still need a little more to be convinced on the future of the franchise. Because, listen, and I talked about it last week, I've seen somebody like this before in Jameis Winston that has a lot of talent. The decision-making just needs to get better. Now, with Jameis Winston, we knew that that's what it was. The decision-making wasn't getting better. Shedeur has the opportunity to improve. And as long as he does mostly, no problem with not drafting a quarterback in the draft next year.
Drew, the quarterback that Shedeur Sanders went up against this week, where was he drafted? Number 1. Do you know who the first rookie quarterback this year to throw for over 300 yards is? Shedeur Sanders. Not Cam Ward, the number 1 pick. If you idiots mess this up, give the kid a chance, okay? Go take your 2 picks in the next NFL draft, 2 first-round picks. Go get him a stud wide receiver. Go get him a cornerstone offensive lineman, and build the team around the skill set of the quarterback who has shown some good flashes Now that he's actually in and, practicing with the guys he's playing with, who has started to get a control of the offense, who has started to move the ball down the field, and a guy who clearly has a team rallying behind him, minus Jerry Jeudy being a jackass a couple weeks ago.
We've already talked about this.
The thing that impressed me from Shedeur the most is he's getting rid of the ball. He's getting rid of the ball quicker, and he's not taking those 7 to 8 to 12-step drops that he was so prone to taking in college because his offensive line was awful. It was just give yourself as much space as you can and launch it down to
Yes, I get yes.
The problem is he doesn't have a Heisman Trophy caliber wide receiver. Travis Hunter, thank you. He doesn't have a Travis Hunter. You guys don't even have close to that. He is throwing to what is left of the prime years of Njoku. The new tight end that you got, the kid's pretty good.
Bannon, yeah.
Yeah, I like him. He's got nobody else to throw the ball to.
No,
he doesn't have a great running game, and he's still out there putting up some numbers, and he's still out there looking. He's progressed, and I agree with you. I don't want to see Dylan Gabriel in a Browns uniform again. That experiment is done. That was Stefanski's guy. Now getting to my guy Stefanski. Here's the question I have for you, Drew.
The 2 point.
How more blatantly obvious does your coach have to make it that he doesn't want this quarterback before you make the decision and finally get rid of this guy? Because what I'm reading when I watch Browns games is a coach trying to screw over a quarterback. Why the hell is your quarterback not on the field for a 2-point conversion? That doesn't make any sense.
We want to get a higher draft pick.
Yeah, okay, then that's fine. Then don't put him in for the whole fourth quarter then. Like, take him out and put in Deshaun Watson, if anything. I don't care. Because what you're doing to Shedeur, to Shedeur is a detriment. And I'm so proud of this kid because he walks into the press conferences and he just backs all of the shitty questions that he has to answer because your coach keeps putting him in shitty positions.
I listen. I get it. I like the kid. I like his potential. Like I said, a little bit more of take what the defense gives you, especially let's say you're down 2 scores or you're down 10 and you need to make a play. I get it. Just limit those. Take what the defense gives you. Kind of be a little bit better in terms of your decision making. Obviously, like he's gotten better. Still a couple going oh, dude, like that pick near the end of the game where you're just like, ugh, kid, where are you going with that?
Kid.
However, the progression that I asked for is there. And listen, if we get to week 17 and he hasn't had a pick in 2 games and he's looking like he's doing now, I will go into our draft preview and go, I don't want the Browns to draft a quarterback. Because also, we're probably not going to be high enough to get anyone that we truly. I don't want Dante Moore. I don't want Ty Simpson is tempting, but I don't think he's. I don't think he has a high enough ceiling. I like Mendoza, but he's going 1 or 2. So,
and I'm not the biggest fan of Club Nick.
That's also a thing. Then the commentators pointed it out, and they were That's why they jumped a lot of routes where they're working on it with him. Where as soon as he's about to throw, he's waiting for the route to get open, and he's tapping ready to throw. But it's wrong, and that he's wrong.
If you can teach Jackson Dart to have a snap count, I can teach Shedeur to stop tapping the ball. And he's going to work with Brady in the offseason, and he'll probably fix that up. I hit Ray's comment because I didn't see this one first. This is the thing now, though, guys. Nobody wants to give up the record to Miles, so they're going to triple team, and they're going to throw backers at him nonstop.
He's still got a sack.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying. Nobody is going to – now that he's close, nobody wants to be the team to give up that record. All right, let's move on. I love me some Shedeur, but let's keep it rolling. It was a loss. Seahawks 37-9 over the Falcons. Falcons packing it up for the year. Seahawks, okay. I want to see.
Hey, they looked impressive the past couple of games, so they're in 10-3, I think. So looking good.
All right, I gotta eat some crow. I said Trevor Lawrence and the Jags come out and win this game, I'd stop saying he was mid. However, Daniel Jones did go down with a knee injury. Also been playing on a broken leg.
Well, it's it's a fractured fibula, but yeah.
Sure. I mean, that sounds good enough to me to call it broken, fractured, whatever. But the Jaguars looked good. The Colts, I mean, I'm sorry to be right on this. But I mean, this wasn't going to last. This wasn't going to continue. Danny Dimes is now out. My poor guy, Riley Leonard, came in and got hurt. The Colts,
I felt so bad.
I know. The Colts have done what any franchise would do. They have gone out and signed 44-year-old Phillip Rivers to their practice squad.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
What the hell? He's a grandfather now. He's gonna get killed. But I mean, Jesus. And yes, 6, your Falcons are sorry. I don't know if Michael Penix Jr. is the answer now after a 5th or 6th knee surgery in the small career that he's had between college and the pros. But man, we'll see. And Zach Ertz, why are we making faces at Zach Ertz?
He is out for the season.
Oh, he is out for the season as well. Okay, man, my bad. I missed that part. So yeah, doom and gloom for Indianapolis. The Pacers suck. The Colts suck. Caitlin Clark's hurt. Yeah. You got the Indianapolis 500. Congratulations. Moving on. Vikings 31-0 over Washington. Drew, the Vikings are back.
Well, according to the graphic that will be up in about 2 slides, I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. But we move on because listen, that Washington team is bad.
And yes, they are. Poor Marcus Mariota. The Bengals and the Bills put on a great game. Buffalo 39-34 over the Bills, or over the Bengals. A late Joey Burrow interception and a great touchdown run by Josh Allen. And Ray, I did miss the hit, and I will absolutely go watch it because I'm just a horrible person like that. We all wanted to root for the Bengals, and it's nothing against the Bills. Unless you are within that division and hate the Bengals, I love Joe Burrow. I love when he plays football. He's great to watch play football. He's one of the most electric quarterbacks that has ever thrown a football. He's amazing to watch. He plays the game at one of the highest levels you'll ever see it played. But damn it, they just couldn't get it together.
Yeah, and I think this puts a fork in their season. Current 2% chance to make the playoffs. They needed this one, and so unlucky for them. But I think this is a sign that hey, the offense has no problems, regardless of when guys come back or how long they're hurt. Offense has no problems. Get the defense together. This is a perennial playoff team.
And this is a bad Bengals defense. They scored over 30 points and were within 3 to 7 points. Cowboys.
Anyways, it's not all about you. Anyways, the Saints win 24-20 over the Buccaneers. Ken, this Bucs team has been struggling. However, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Mike Evans and the other guy, McMillan, thank you, come back this week. However, they are now tied with the Panthers at 7-6, and we'll talk about the Panthers later. Also, concern or relief?
Well, also, I wanted to just tap this in. Phillip Rivers, an option to start. Colts still in wait-and-see mode as we get closer to the weekend. I mean, the Bucs. I believe that if the Bucs are starting to get healthy, that they're going to overtake Carolina and they're going to make the playoffs.
He's been playing. I'm just saying that they get Evans and McMillan back this week. Godwin and Igbuka are still active.
Yes. So I mean, I believe in the Bucs still. This is a slip up. This is not a great loss here, especially to a Saints team that is kind of searching. Have the Saints found their quarterback? Because Tyler Shaw has not looked bad.
I can't say they found their quarterback because I truly think he has a ceiling to him. But I think they are in a very similar boat to us, where it's like there is obviously potential there, but there needs to be a foundation that they can say that he will grow from this and be better. I don't need a quarterback. And so I think they're still in kind of decision mode there. And I understand it.
No, these Louisville quarterbacks, man, they can sling the rock.
I wanted them.
I know. In the battle of the two teams that we're unfortunately going to be stuck with out of this crappy division, Steelers 27-22 over the Ravens. A vintage Aaron Rodgers performance. We got some discount double check. Maybe banging the hand up was what Rodgers needed to head out for another ayahuasca trip and get himself fresh and ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, they're going to lose by 14 to Miami next week. No, listen, you talked about it. This matchup is always weird. It's always funky, and Steelers, for some reason, a lot of times come out the better end of this one. And so I'm not surprised, but I also don't, regardless of what team won this game, I wasn't going to put any stock into it. So
the thing that sucks is the only team in this division that I would like to see in the playoffs are the Bengals, because I don't think either this Ravens or this Steeler team can win a first-round matchup. You suck. Shut up.
You don't want to see me in the playoffs, Ken?
No.
I want to see you in the playoffs.
Yeah, because I got an offense who can score points. I don't want to see
because it'll be 50-48.
Yeah, I don't want to see Shador get beat up in the playoffs. Not yet, kid. But neither of these teams are that great. The Ravens' defense is awful this year, giving up 27 points to the Steelers. But I don't care. I hate this division so much. Let's move on.
Talking about not caring.
Yeah, talking about not caring. Yeah, what the hell are the Jets doing? I mean, the Jets are doing Jets stuff. This is tanking. Jets football right here. The Dolphins 34-10 over the Jets. I don't know who the hell the Dolphins are either. I'm confused because they should be tanking, but they're winning games. But they're winning games that they shouldn't be winning, and then beating teams that they should beat when they don't make any sense because they also
I fixed it.
Yeah, let's just move on because I don't understand the Dolphins at all. Broncos 24-17 over the I do it every week. I've been calling them Vegas for a while, but I almost went back to Oakland. 24-17 over the Las Vegas Raiders. Broncos, the number one team in the AFC.
Yeah, I mean, the Patriots, I think, are the better 11-2 team if we're talking just that. But Broncos giving me no reason to listen. They win close against bad teams. They win close against good teams. They're winning, and that's what matters most.
Yeah, no, I agree. We'll get to that in a second.
Talking about 45-year-old quarterbacks.
Right. Rams, 45-17 over the Cardinals. I told you this might be a blowout. I like this Rams team. I think they're super dangerous in the NFC. An NFC that kind of at this point really doesn't have a dominant team with the way Detroit has been up and down. Philly, we'll get to those jerk-offs. But the Rams are as dangerous as anybody.
No, you're right. And I think the Rams are putting themselves in a really good position here because if we're looking at the NFC West, right, you obviously have the Rams, but then you have the 10-3 Seahawks and the 9-4 49ers. And so if they lose a game, they go from 1 to 5 or 6 and having to play a wild card game. And so the Rams basically just have to keep winning because if they slip up once, they're probably losing that number 1 seed to someone in the wild card right now. And so they're proving it week to week, but one game drops them into the wild card.
And that's a team that needs teams to come to LA. That Rams offense we've seen it struggle in the
and needs to play less games.
Yes,
because of the age.
Yes, absolutely. Less games for the quarterback. And I know he played in Detroit and he would go on the cold weather. That Rams offense has struggled in the playoffs in that snow and in the cold weather. So they would absolutely need to. We're going to leave all that stuff out of the comments. I'm going to get all to that here in a second when we're done with the NFL. Green Bay reasserts their dominance in the NFC 28-21 over the Bears. I'm still going to say this. I'm still impressed with this Bears team.
The issue is while I'm impressed with the Bears team,
a loss dropped them from second in the NFC all the way down to 7th.
Yeah, the last wild card spot. The issue is that if you were truly a different Bears team, you would have made Jordan Love look like he did against the Panthers. And I get they're at home, and I get that it's Lambeau. To be a Bears team that's a Super Bowl contender, you have to dominate some of these games. You do. And it's or at least at the very least win them on the road, because the Packers, while good, are very easily beatable. They lost to the Browns, they lost to the Panthers. This defense gave up a shit ton to the Cowboys. This Bears team, to truly tell me you are the measuring stick in the NFC North and potentially the NFC, you had to go out and win this game.
My counter to that would be, that's not where they're supposed to be this year.
Sure.
So the fact that they're here to begin with tells me that this, first of all, this organization has clearly turned it around. They clearly made the right pick at quarterback. They clearly hired the right coach. They clearly made good moves around Caleb Williams in terms of skill position and the guys that they've added on defense. I don't expect them to be the class of the NFC North. I expect them to be in the wild card hunt, and that is exactly where they are. There is no problem with going out and losing to this Packers team by 7 points. Hi, Micah Parsons. Welcome to the season. Micah had a great game. I also agree with some of the Packers bitching that Micah was pretty much held the entire second half of that game.
Oh, yeah.
That's what happens. I've seen that happen way too many times. And yes, the referees start to allow it because at some point, and listen, you want to go into conspiracies, you want to take this however you want to. At some point, the NFL and these referees don't want defensive players to ruin the whole entire game. So they're going to allow the offensive guys to start to grab and start to hold and start to get a hold of these guys and slow them down. It's just what's going to happen. I'm still impressed.
Miles has been getting held for 4 years. That's nothing new.
Absolutely. I'm still impressed with this Bears team, this Packers team. I'm impressed that they're continuing to win right now.
I agree. Unlike another team that you hate that we'll talk about. Sunday, Texans 20-10 over Kansas City. Ken, we'll talk about percent chances because technically Kansas City still has a relative percent chance. But do you think that obviously the first time, and I forget how many years, I think 5 or 6, that they will not win the AFC West. But Ken, do you think that they're going to make the playoffs at all this year? I'll bring up the graphic to get you a true base in a minute, but just based off of feel.
I love good. Listen, I'm a Notre Dame fan and a Cowboys fan and Manchester United. I clearly have some dynasties and some powerhouse teams that I've rooted for, okay? Every sport needs a good villain. It is so good to have this team be done. And I think they're done. And here's the thing. This is so amazing. We had this conversation when they won their last Super Bowl about this team being a dynasty. I mean, they've got 3 championships. They've got 2 losses in Super Bowls. This is a great run. We started talking about Patrick Mahomes being in that conversation with Tom Brady. Well, here is something, and shout out to my guy, Bill Simmons. Here is something that Patrick Mahomes is going to do that Tom Brady never did in his entire NFL career. And that's play in a meaningless football game.
Bill Simmons, the Patriots fan, by the way.
100%. There's no more.
But no, there's truth to it. There's truth to it.
There's truth to it because we've done a lot of crowning Mahomes as the next GOAT. He's the next GOAT. Well, next GOAT, if you're out of the playoffs, I can't consider you the GOAT when the GOAT that you're chasing was never out of it. Ever.
No, listen, I think the only time that Brady was on the Patriots that they didn't make the playoffs, he was hurt the whole year, and Ryan Mallett was their quarterback. Was Matt Cass? I thought it was Ryan Mallett. Anyways, regardless, no, I think you're absolutely right, and I think this is a sign, and I think this is honestly what Philly saw, is that there comes a point in an Andy Reid tenure where things stop being fresh, stop being innovative. And maybe it's because he's a little older and he's kind of on the edge of retirement and maybe he isn't as hungry, but this Kansas City team looks flat. They run the same kind of trick plays, they run the same kind of routes, and defenses are picking up on this. And so if Andy Reid obviously wants to stay, I think you let him stay for another year. But if you get this kind of same result, I think there's got to be serious questions asked about Andy Reid's tenure here, because you are seeing a sharp decline in the offensive production here. And we know that they're kind of old, but you know this team is talented. And like you talked about Brady was dragging practice squad wide receivers to the playoffs and winning games with them. Mahomes can't win with a good receiving core and a Hall of Fame tight end. That's a problem, I think, more on the head coach than on the talent around him.
Disrespect intended, no disrespect intended. I really don't care today. The carcass of Travis Kelce running around out there. Dude, stop planning the flower arrangements for your wedding and get locked in on the football field, my guy.
He's 36, man. He's old.
I know. Then retire.
He should be running Zach Ertz routes of sitting in the middle of the field going like this. The issue is Andy Reid's running them 20 yards down the field. He can't do that no more. He's got old legs.
I mean, a lot of what he did was just sit in the middle. I mean, I had the king of it with Jason Witten, but Kelce does a lot of that. The fall of the Kelce brothers the fall of the Kelce brothers has been amazing. Jason Kelce is dog shit awful on Thursday Night Football.
Whatever. He's a Hall of Fame center. I don't want to hear the awful commentator. So is half the people. So is Richard Sherman, by the way.
Oh yeah, Richard Sherman is not great either.
And he's
awful on ESPN too. I'm done with this. I'm happy it's over. I don't think they have a chance. I don't care what the percentage is. I think this is over, and I think it needs to. This team needs a playoff run to sit. I think that would help, and I think it needs retooled. I think they need another tight end, and they need to help this offensive line because it's awful. Now, it doesn't help that they're down 2 starters as well, but you got to beef up this offensive line. And then in my happiest result of the weekend, Chargers 22-19 over the Eagles. Shout out to Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts to become the first NFL player in history with 2 turnovers on the same play. This game could not have happened in a better light for me. Not shout out to Justin Herbert, actually criticism to Justin Herbert. You're also a jackass this week. The celebration watching your team make a game-winning interception was a little weird, but trying to basically like run away from Laura Rutledge as she's trying to interview after the game, like you don't know that you're a starting quarterback in the NFL and you're going to get interviewed after the game. Like, stand there and do your job, jackass. You get paid like $185 million a year. Like, do your job. Like, that's part of being a starting quarterback in the NFL. This Chargers
old man yelling at cloud today.
Absolutely. This Chargers defense is amazing.
No reason.
This Chargers defense is amazing when it wants to be. The
offense wants to be.
Right. This offense still kind of struggles. Also, Harbaugh. I'll remember this victory alongside the birth of my children. Like, you're all weird.
Can I run the show so you just stop complaining about random bullshit?
Yes.
Love you. Good Lord. Stop complaining. Anyways, teams on a bye. Well, one, Jalen Hurts looked absolutely awful, and I think we show what his low can be. However, I truly anticipate the Eagles to bounce back. I think they'll be just fine. Chargers, that's a great win to not seal, but go a long way in solidifying a wild card spot.
We got to start talking about the Chargers in the playoffs.
Absolutely. I think they're going to stumble when it comes to the big boys, but I think they can knock one of these teams off. Teams on a bye, Patriots, Giants, Frisco, and Carolina. And you guys asked for it last week, so we brought it this week. We have the playoff picture. Your AFC leaders, obviously, the Broncos and the Patriots at 11-2. Broncos ahead. I forget why specifically. I think it's points or point differential, but both of them with a greater than 99% chance to make the playoffs. Haven't confirmed it, but could this week with a win. 9-4, your AFC South leading. Jaguars shutting Ken up along the way. Absolutely amazing. 97% current chance to make the playoffs because they hold a lot of tiebreakers with people in their division. Great there. And the lowest, in terms of the AFC, the lowest percentage to make the playoffs, but still leading the division. The Steelers at 7-6 with a 67% chance to make the playoffs. Looking at your wild card, I did not update the Chargers by accident because they do actually overtake the Bills right now. But even though both are at 9-4, the Chargers with a 75% chance and the Bills at a 96% chance. And then at the end, the Texans climbing into a wild card spot this week with their win at 8-5, and then with a 91% chance. And then, honestly, both sides in terms of the wild or the hunt, it's very, very bare bones. Obviously, Indy is 8-5, but they only have a 28% chance to make the playoffs after their loss in the division. And the Ravens, after their loss to Pittsburgh at 6-7, have a 31% chance. I only kept people with above a 20% chance. And so the Chiefs at 12% and the Dolphins and the Bengals at a sub 2% did not make the list. Ken, do you think this AFC playoff picture, not talking seeding, the playoff picture changes at all before the end of the season?
I truly believe the only change that can happen is the Ravens potentially overtaking the division somehow. I don't believe the Colts have a chance. I think it's just seeding in arrangement. I think these are your playoff teams on the AFC side.
Yes. So looking into the NFC then, obviously number one, your Rams 10-3 with a 97% chance. Packers 9-3-1 with a 93% chance. Your Eagles 8-5 with a 92% chance. And your Bucks, while 7-6, still a 70% chance to make the playoffs. So doing okay there, just need to do their job. Going on to the wild card, the Seahawks at 10-3 with a 98% chance. And just to remind you, that's a percent higher than the Rams, and they're the number one seed. So that just shows you how stacked the NFC West is. Another NFC West team, the 49ers at 9-4 with a 93% chance. And the Bears, after their loss, dropped 6 spots, but still hold the last wild card spot at 9-4 with a 62% chance. That is officially the lowest percent chance out of all current playoff teams to make the playoffs. And then obviously the last two teams in the hunt, Lions at 8-5 with a 52% chance, and the Panthers at 7-6 with a 31% chance. Ken, I am sorry. Obviously, we'll talk about it tomorrow, but your Cowboys with an 11% chance and your Vikings at a sub 1% chance at 5-8. Ken, what are your thoughts on this NFC playoff picture?
I don't think this is the exact seeding for the NFC because I still got to buy into my shit. So I believe my Cowboys will try to sneak in there at some point. The fact that the Lions are in the hunt is crazy. I truly believe the Lions will find a way to get into the playoffs. I don't know if that means they'll knock the Bears out. San Francisco looks pretty damn good right now. I'm not sure, but to not have the Lions in the playoffs would be just crazy after what we've seen from this team on this run and still being at 8-5. I'll leave it at that. We'll save the rest, some of it for tomorrow, but no, I don't think this is how the NFC will shake out.
I would say, quick question though. Obviously, 3 teams from the NFC West in the playoffs. Do you think the seeding of those 3 teams are switched by the end of the season?
Yes, because I think down the stretch, the Seahawks are going to care more about the division. And I think at some point, I know the Rams want that, and I know they want the division. I know they want the less games, but I also think at the end of the day, they want to just make the playoffs and make sure they're healthy. So I think that could come down to some rest versus risk down to the late stretch of the season.
Very fair. All right. Obviously, Ken doesn't think it's going to change too much, but we are getting to the end of it, and a lot can still happen. So we will get back to that another time.
All right. You want to
talk about news?
You want to get to the breaking news, or you want to take our break before footy?
let's get the breaking news and we'll take the quick break after that.
All right, breaking news out of Michigan. You saw it in the comment section, and yes, it has just broke. Michigan has fired head coach Sharon Moore for cause Wednesday after a university investigation found credible evidence he engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. Wow. This Michigan coaching staff has been embroiled in turnover or in controversy and turnover since Jim Harbaugh's last year. It continues. This is a terrible look. This is not great. The guy was starting to get recruits into Michigan. He had taken over. He got Underwood there. He had done things there. We saw this happen at Michigan State with the coach not too long ago, and I apologize for not remembering his name. We now see it here at Michigan. You guys have one job as the coach, man. That is to run your ship and to not use your power in inappropriate ways. He's an idiot. Now, I will say, though, they're unfortunate because a lot of the ducks have moved open. This is a job. This isn't Wisconsin. This is not, I'm sorry, this isn't, no disrespect. This is one of the top programs in college football history. And that job is now wide open. Now, they've lost their pick of the top guys. But there's going to be some guys interested who you wouldn't have thought before would either come to college, move from that job. This is a top program.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one because, well, first off, I'm going to say that while it's shocking, the more you think about it, the more that this isn't terribly surprising in the fact of Sharon Moore was a part of the coaching staff under John Harbaugh. And so it definitely seems like there was a lack of a lack of accountability in that program. And while a lot of that was probably skirted under Jim Harbaugh because of the name and because of the recruits and because of that, Sharon Moore, because of one, the lack of winning, and two, because probably the lack of recruits that he had gotten already, this was under a much bigger microscope. And so unfortunately, the culture didn't change, but the accountability finally caught up. And I think this is where we saw this here. Not accusing any John Harbaugh of anything. I just think that in terms of skirting the rules, it's kind of what I mean by that.
Can I just be blunt? Don't bang your staffers. It's a black and white issue.
Absolutely.
There's no gray area here. Don't have sex with your staffers.
But what I'm saying is Harbaugh skated a lot, not those rules, but skated a lot of other rules. And because he was on that coaching staff, was trying to play by the same rules. But
when you breed a lack of accountability and a lack of character on your staff, eventually things like this will happen.
Absolutely. You're absolutely. But going on to the job search side of this, and I think it's going to be interesting because it is so late in the process. You are going to get like NFL offensive coordinators, like an Eric Bieniemy situation, or things like that, where coordinators that know they probably don't have an immediate path in an NFL head coaching position go, oh, I'll just take the Michigan coaching job, and if I succeed there, that can lead into an immediate NFL head coaching position. And so I think obviously you're going to get a lot of big names, but I think you're going to get a lot of names that you probably wouldn't have heard if this job had not opened, in terms of guys in the NFL that you're going, well, they've only been an offensive coordinator for a year or two. And it's like, yeah, but they want to make a name for themselves. And so look for some high-powered offensive coordinators going down to Michigan for this job.
I thought of this name, was going to say it, Googled it. The first thing here is that he's already being linked to the job. Brian Kelly to Michigan.
That is one. I think that would be awful for Michigan. I truly believe so, because I think he would lose to Ohio State every year. That would, like, the man can't play big games. I'm sorry. That's just And
That'd
he
be a way
wouldn't.
to make-
He's not.
That would be a way to make your name in winning some big games, though. If you go to Michigan,
He's
and
also
you
not going to get the recruits that he got at LSU. Like, that's just not going to
does.
happen.
Not many guys.
But
do.
I'm saying, if he can't win at LSU with those recruits, he's going to win at Michigan. Like, that's just not a good idea, I think, for either side. But like I said, if you, like, I'd have to think of some names. But a high-powered offensive coordinator in the NFL, I think, would chomp at the bit at that job.
Yeah, so that's. I mean, I'm not gonna feel bad for Sherrone Moore in a second for a second.
No.
You made your bed. Now you have to lay in it. But yeah, this is massive in the terms of the college football landscape because this is without a doubt a top 10 college football job.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll take a break and we'll finish with some footy, as I like to do.
Well, you can because I'm going to be sad.
That's fine. I've had a bad show, so it's time for me to actually have some fun. We're going to take a break, as always, here on the Straub Sports Show. We like to try to give back and highlight some good causes. Next week, I'm going to have the flyer for our Rapids donation boxes that we are doing for this a great charity that Paula found us in the city of Cleveland. But for now, I'll talk to you about one of my favorites. As always,
Today I want to talk to you about Ani's Army Foundation. Started by Mark and Lynn Meyer to honor their daughter Annika, Ani's Army Foundation was formed to raise money for the research of medulloblastoma tumors and other pediatric cancers, while making a positive impact on the community and helping those families in need. Here on the website, anisarmy.org, you can follow Ani's story, a story of strength and the love that her family has with her and she has with them as she fights this battle. Here on the website, if you can, please donate via Venmo, credit card, PayPal, cash, or check. Any donation is loved and any donation is appreciated. Thank you.
I also want to give a big welcome back. I also want to give a big shout out to Mark. Mark taps in with us on Facebook, on my Facebook page. Taps in with us all the time for on the personal level too. So shout out to my guy. I got some hoodies on the way. I got me an Ani's Army hoodie that I'm trying to get sent over too. So obviously some good stuff going there. You'll see that stuff shared on my page all the time and through the Straub Sports page. They've raised a lot of money recently for their foundation, doing great things up there in Michigan. That's the people we love up there in Michigan. Not some of the rest of y'all, but all right, Drew. Let's talk some footy.
Absolutely, and we'll do me first because I don't want to talk anymore after that. Well, we'll get the other results, and then we'll talk about mine because I'm sad, and then we'll talk to yours because you can end it on a good note. Aston Villa finally take points, all 3 points from Arsenal in a 2-1 win. Listen, Aston Villa has been on the up and up lately, and they proved it here. Aston Villa seems to be Arsenal's kryptonite. They did the double on Arsenal last year, was the only team to do it, and got a third win in a row here. Absolutely amazing for them, and helps all of us a little bit lower in the table when Arsenal drop points. So that's always good. I'm
going to ask you the question that one of my favorite people in all of sports media, Rebecca Lowe, a soccer pundit on NBC, asked to her co-host, do we have to take Aston Villa seriously as a title contender now?
In terms of title contender, I'm going to say no. I think they dug themselves too big of a hole early in the season, and there's no room for error. And obviously, it is the Premier League. You are going to randomly drop points throughout the season. And the issue with Aston Villa is I don't think they can do that. In terms of Champions League, I would say absolutely we're going to take them seriously because I think that is a team that right now looks absolutely fantastic. And along with the faults of other top teams in the top 6 to 7, will automatically jump into this race by the back half of or the first half of next year. And so we will see then. But I think title contenders, no, just because of how bad they were in the beginning of the year. But Champions League contenders, I would say yes, absolutely. Go on.
Go ahead.
And then moving along, Manchester City, a 3-0 win over Sunderland. Sunderland, a good team, but a team that came up against a team that's rolling, and two, a team that's very professional is not going to get caught out like some of these teams that they've beaten.
I'm still surprised, though, that Sunderland didn't put up a better effort. Just because even in these big games, we've seen them come out and play well. So to see them kind of fall and kind of look like a promoted team playing Manchester City, that was disheartening a bit. However, there is no shame in along the campaign of what is the Premier League dropping a result like this. It's going to happen sometimes. They're Manchester City for a reason.
Right. They just beat Real Madrid today in the Champions League. It is, you know what I mean? And when a team like City is rolling like that, there's very little you can do to stop them. Talking about stopping teams, Chelsea 0, Bournemouth 0. If you count yesterday's loss to Atalanta in the Champions League, that is 3 straight poor results for my Chelsea. The offense looks lost out there. They see, I know Cole Palmer, honestly, we look worse with Cole Palmer playing than we do without him. And that's probably just Cole Palmer getting his feet under him still, and coming up to game speed. But something needs to change quickly. We are rapidly dropping in the table. We are currently out of automatic qualification for the Champions League. We would need to qualify in the elimination round to get into the round of 16. Not a lot. I mean, not a lot to say. This team banks on its ability to control possession and keep teams on the back foot. And when you can't do that offensively, you're left with the other team coming at a very sometimes suspect defense. And we saw that yesterday against Atalanta. Thankfully, Bournemouth didn't have a lot going forward on Sunday, and that's why it ended 0-0.
I was a tad bit disappointed in this result from you. You need to reintegrate Cole Palmer into the team and into that starting 11, because I don't care how you look with him right now. You're not a better team with him not on the pitch. We're not even going to entertain that. I'm not saying that you were. I'm just overall. We're not going to allow that to roll into anything else. Man, you still got to go out and get 3 points against a Bournemouth team that obviously struggles going forward. You don't struggle going forward, which was surprising. Like, if this was a 2-2 draw, I think I would be I could find more positive in it than you not being able to produce at all on their end. But not all is over. We're still only
absolutely
about halfway into the Premier League season. So still much more to play for. But Drew, you did mention it. You now sit 5th in the table on 25 points, sitting right underneath you in 6th place, also on 25 points. Glory, glory, Manchester United, 4-1 drubbing of bottom of the Premier League Wolves.
2 points. They have 2 points.
Yes, they do. They have 2 points. I do believe one of those is against me. This Wolves team is bad. This United team finally started to find some footing and score some goals. I'm happy with the performance. We did give one back. It was a great goal that Wolves scored. I will say they don't have many goals scored this season, but damn, that will be one of the best ones that you will see. Beautiful work-up play, and then a nice cross in and finish. But we took care of business. We got 3 points. And you know what? For all of the talking and all of the, is everything okay at Manchester United? We are 1 point off of automatic qualification for the Champions League. We're here. We're not contenders, but damn it, we're here.
No, you're finally back in the race. I'm glad you're back. Obviously, we'll see how the longevity of the season is going to impact it. But for right now, you're in the race. Also, I want to talk about this. Is there a reason why you're playing all these Monday games? Because
I don't know.
I'll foreshadow tomorrow. You're playing on Monday next week too, and that's your third Monday in 4 weeks. What's going on there?
You know who doesn't like it? The guy who works until 3:30 when these games start at 3:00. And I have the West Ham game. Thank God for my guy Colin, because he walked over to me at like 3:20 and was like, "Hey, are you watching?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, our game's on." I hate it. I think it's awful. Why can't I play on the weekend? I want to be miserable or happy on the weekend and not on Monday. So yeah, I don't know, and I don't like it. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Okay, just wanted to ask because it was like every time I go to make these graphics, I go, "Is Ken not playing this week?" And I go, "Oh, he's playing on a Monday again."
Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
spoiler
And
alert.
I had to do it. I had to do it for tomorrow. It was weird. It was really weird.
Yeah, Bournemouth. I don't know. I don't like it. I'll tell you that. I don't like it. But all right, that's it. I'm over
2 hour show, an hour and a half of you complaining about things. You
Yep.
cranky old man.
Yep.
Please don't. I am putting this. I am banning Notre Dame as a phrase the entirety of the college segment the rest of the year, because you're not playing a bowl game, and so I don't. We don't got to hear it.
Jeremiah Love is a Heisman Trophy finalist. I'm not dead yet. You will hear more from me.
That's the only time I don't even want to hear Notre Dame. I'll hear Jeremiah Love out of the school from South Bend, Indiana. That's all I'm allowing. I will not allow to hear the word Notre Dame or independent the rest of the until August of next year.
This show was therapeutic.
No, I'll say Ryan. That's basketball, so it's fine.
This show was therapeutic for me. It's in the past now. Thursday is our preview. When we go into Thursday, should I give the people a sneak peek? The people who have stuck around, because everybody knows what this week is. Well, if you're a college football fan, you know what this is. And this week is Army Navy. I'm just going to
put it up. Put it up when we do the outro for people that really want to stay.
Stick through the outro. I will preview Army and Navy's uniforms for this week's Army Navy game, and baby, they don't disappoint because they never do. We will preview the Army Navy game on Thursday, and we will potentially start talking some hoops. The people have asked us to talk some hoops. You ain't getting rid of me yet, because you ain't heard me talk about Hannah Hidalgo much yet, but I'm going to wear you out with that. Carlos Boozer Jr., we've got to talk about what the hell the Cavs are going to do at the trade deadline. Does it matter for anyone else in the NBA? Because is anyone going to beat Oklahoma City? Spoiler alert, no. But we will talk about it.
We said the same thing last year.
I took a deep dive into some basketball podcasts this week too. So I am arming myself. I've been watching my hoops, but I've been arming myself with some good numbers and some good stuff too. So hoops is on the way as we start to slow down for a couple weeks before we ramp back up, obviously, for the college football playoffs. But those will be less games to talk about. So we will start mixing the hoops in as we've been asked for. It's time to start talking some hoops. Final shout outs.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. Liking, watching, commenting, however you support the podcast. We greatly appreciate it. Also, shout out to Oklahoma as a university. It's been done before, but I always love to see it. They are pushing back final schedules to ensure that everyone can watch the Oklahoma-Alabama game. I absolutely love it. It's an SEC tactic. And I know they're in the SEC, but they still run like a Big 12 school. But the fact that they got in on this kind of SEC tradition of going, hey, academics, shove it. Football's in town. And I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it.
The SEC shoving academics aside for football? No, never. Well, shout out to my Notre Dame class.
Hey, well, I don't want to hear it anymore.
Who will be doing their final, whatever. We're not even going to do that. No, seriously. Thank you for everybody for tapping in with us as always. Bunch of new people in the comment section showing us some love. I appreciate all y'all. Everybody as always. Ray, appreciate you as always, big dog. Pops, we love you. Mom couldn't make today's show. She was prepared for yesterday's show. But Mom, we love you.
Sorry.
Hey, it's getting close to the holiday season too. So make sure, you get all your last minute Christmas gifts. Yours is on the way.
I'm done, baby. I'm done.
Attaboy. Yours is on the way. Landon's done. Thank you. But enjoy this holiday season. We'll be keeping up with you throughout this. We're going to have our holiday show. We will figure out the week of Christmas together, and we will let everybody know. We'll probably only do one show that week for Christmas. But yeah, hey, thank you everybody for your likes, for your shares, for your comments. We always appreciate you here on the Straub Bro Sports Show. And as I said before, if you're sticking around to the end of the show, I got a preview of those Army, Navy uniforms. Cannot wait to talk about the Army-Navy game this week as well. That'll do it for us here on the Straub Bro Sports Show. For Little Bro Drew, I am Big Bro Ken signing off. And please remember to love yours.
Ken's got fire and a wild hot take. Andrew's stats make the whole place shake. Laughing loud when your team goes down. Straub boys run this sports town. Show. This is the Straub Bro Sports Show. Sundays, Mondays, we live for the fight. College game day and Thursday night. Rivals fall and the banter flies. We bleed our teams till the day